That is a Porsche 928, everybody. That's the car from Risky Business. I didn't even know where to begin with that. Here we are. It's our 2-month anniversary since the fire, heading back to Malibu. Thank you guys for watching these videos and sharing them. I was surprised by the response, but it was very positive. So we're gonna keep you guys posted and keep these vlogs coming. Heading to Malibu, 2 months to the day when the fire started. And we're going to give a progress report and check up on the cleanup. Those white tires over there, that's a memorial. Each tire represents a death of somebody on PCH. Caitlyn Jenner's responsible for 31 of those tires. All right, there's a dump truck here. It's good. Good to have a dump truck. That's good. And another dump truck. That seems good. Like to see dump trucks. So this is the side of Malibu that didn't get hit, and there seems to be some life. Are people surfing? The water's just disgusting now. There's people surfing. You know, the thing that is interesting is there's very few buildings that got hit and are standing. And this one's obviously a write-off, but it's one of the few structures that actually got destroyed but is physically standing. The rest are melted to the ground. What kind of car do you think that's? Are there 2 cars in the garage? Let me see. Let's see if we can figure out what kind of car that is. Porsche. Another Porsche. Oh, man. It's like a Porsche. Well, no, wait a minute. It's front engine. Oh, it's got a radiator in the front. The hood essentially melted. So obviously in 2 months, we haven't made a ton of progress as far as the cleanup has gone. Still, like on this parcel, there's still probably some sweeping up to do. You know, I don't want to nitpick, but I don't know. I wouldn't call this completely done. I'd say there's still probably a half day's work here. If this vehicle was a 60s era VW, it would fire up. Oh, Mercedes G-Wagon. I will say, as sad as this scene is, I'm not sad to see the G-Wagon go. That is the #1 ride for all douchebags, is a Mercedes G-Wagon. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about changing my rap name, which is currently Mayonnaise, you know, white rapper, to Malibu G-Wagon. But I'm also thinking I can combine them, like Mayonnaise featuring Malibu G-Wagon.
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Oh, yeah.
Are you connected to this house?
No,
Recording?
we're just shooting the devastation. So this was the access to the beach. Wow. You know, what's funny is this place, $100 million home, triple lot, spectacular home, gone. 60s era pile of shit junk box, saved. Tell me there's a God. Okay, we got an excavator. We got flathead shovels. We got a water tank. Once again, for my Christian friends, multi-million-dollar, stunning home, down to the ground. 60s era shitbox, untouched. Uh-oh. Guy's walking with purpose. That's never a good sign. We'll see what he has to say.
I was gonna come introduce myself. I know who you are. I'm Dirty, okay?
That's all right. I don't mind a little toxic dust.
I'm a local contractor and I got hired to do that property there. I was gonna come over if this was yours and see if you were interested in hiring direct or if you're gonna go with the Corps of Engineers.
Do you mind talking on camera for a minute? Oh, okay. What's your name?
My name is Glenn Bell. I work for American Wrecking.
So you guys have been subbed out to do this stuff?
Correct, by the homeowners.
By the homeowners?
Correct. We're not working for the Corps of Engineers. We're private sector.
How do they pull the permits to let you do that?
We're pulling the permits on behalf. So the most important thing we have to do first is test for asbestos and any hazardous waste. Once we get those results, then we can start moving forward. They're actually doing a great job in turning the permits around in 24 to 36 hours.
Hold on, that statement has never been uttered. LA County is doing a wonderful job with the permits. When I hear stuff like this, I get enthusiastic and then I get angry because I think, oh, they could have done this all along and they never did. But good that they're doing it now.
I've been contracted for this one. I've got 4 more down the street, and we're able to do them for a fraction of what the Corps of Engineers charges the taxpayer.
Okay, I used to do earthquake rehab for the city of Los Angeles, and prevailing wage in 1986 was like
$20 an hour.
No, it was like $8.19.
Prevailing wage now for a laborer is right around $60 an hour, and that includes the fringe benefits.
Oh, I got to pull my son out of college.
Exactly.
What does it cost to completely strip one of these lots? And I know you're going to say it's going to vary from lot to lot.
Absolutely. Depending on size and access, there's pretty decent access here, so we can bring in the bigger equipment and the big trucks. They're averaging from 40,000 and up to 90,000, depending on the size. Volume, dump fees, and time is what makes the cost go up or down. Also, the scrap metal. I sell the scrap metal, discount that back. So if I have a $100,000 job and there's 50,000 in scrap, I'm gonna do it for 50. The scrap pays me. That building had steel that was 20 feet in the air. And we started at 7 o'clock this morning. 90% of the superstructure is down. We've already loaded out 1 load of debris.
Where are you taking the debris?
You can go to Calabasas landfill.
Are they all like Sun Valley? Like
no, Calabasas is in Calabasas. And it's LA County
you're
landfill.
saying Calabasas like your lady news anchor.
So Malibu and Pacific Palisades will likely go to Calabasas.
How about Santa Monica?
Santa Monica.
Okay. Well, let me ask you real quick. You started off by saying you had to test for asbestos.
That's most important.
And
we can't touch it.
Asbestos is in every building material from 1939 to 1979. So how do you not test positive with asbestos on all these structures unless the fire killed the asbestos?
The fire won't kill the asbestos. The main reason is this whole neighborhood burned down in the 90s.
That's where you get all the steel.
Right.
The steel wasn't there in 1961. It was
Correct.
there in 1993.
Correct. Most of these people have decent insurance. They're very well covered. But in other neighborhoods, if you have the California Fair Plan, because we know other insurance companies were pulling out in mass just before this fire happened.
Right.
So those people were forced to go with the California Fair Plan. These properties, even though they're beachfront and they were millions of dollars, the cleanup's not very expensive because there's not a whole lot of concrete. A lot of them were old wooden piers.
Yeah.
The only thing that's concrete is like the garage and a little patio, and that's about it.
A lot of it's physically gone. It's just a lot of stucco and K-lath.
And that's why our loads for normal demolition are averaging 16 tons. Here, they're averaging 21 tons. We're maxing out our trucks and we're not even going to the top.
Wow. How many days to go from this to we're declared this finished and cleaned?
4 days.
4 days.
For a multi-million-dollar house.
All right, let's look. Shall we look?
Sure. This property, when we first showed up, the building was partially standing, and therefore the EPA did not do the phase 1 cleanup. And they're looking for household hazardous materials like paint cans, propane tanks, Tesla batteries, things like that.
Could explode.
Correct. So this was deferred to phase 2. The people they hired to do the phase 1 cleanups have the same license as we do. So we came in, we started the work, we made it safe first by collapsing the walls inward. We found a couple of propane tanks. We inspect them, saw that they had already blown up, so we sent them with scrap metal. Perfectly good that way.
Have you found any keepsakes? Heirlooms, forget-me-nots, photo albums, teddy bears, things like that?
Anything that's not hard has already disappeared. It's destroyed. But the owner had some items he wanted to save. There was some artwork that was made out of cement. We were able to pull that aside from. He found some bottles of wine that are no good, but as a memento, he's keeping them. Inside, we're looking for a safe for him. Oh, okay. It's a small safe, but we're going to make the effort to try to find it. That's one of the things the Corps of Engineers is not going to do.
Well, Glenn, you're doing the Lord's work around here, and I can see this copper's worth something.
Absolutely.
Everything's going to get recycled, right?
Absolutely. So Demolition, a lot of people look at it as, let's just smash it up, put it in a truck and go to the landfill. At American Wrecking, we really pride ourselves in recycling as much as we can. On average, just across the board, we're getting about 85, 86% recycle rate on all demolition projects. When you're working in the industrial side and big concrete tilt-up buildings, we're getting in the low 90s to mid 90s in recycle rates. So here, even though in complete devastation, we've already pulled out a 20-ton load of steel. As you can see, we're segregating the copper, we're segregating the steel. Unfortunately, all the ash and debris is going to go to the landfill as pure waste. So we can't dig through that because of potential for toxic items in there.
So you started this morning, and you got about 2 more full days, and this thing's going to be completely clean.
Correct. The devil's always in the details. So we pulled in very quickly. We start strong. We're going to go ahead and work tomorrow, get ahead of the weather. If we can get 3 more loads of debris out of here, I'll be happy. And then Monday, as long as the rain doesn't kill us, we should be finishing it up. And worst case scenario, if we have to sweep up on Tuesday, I'm still under budget, and the client will be happy because we're finishing a day early.
Glenn, this is why I miss construction guys. Guys like you. I got to work with all these fruitcakes in Hollywood now. They suck. I miss salt of the earth dudes like yourself. So it's great to meet you, Glenn. All right, let's get a latte. You know, I got to say, my heart is filled with pride that even after the devastation, you see all around you, steel melted, stucco on the ground, total devastation. Still, the American flag survived. It somehow made it through the fire. And I think that's emblematic of this country and our sense of resistance. Isn't that amazing, Glenn?
We put it there this morning.
Oh.